Uh, Very good evening, one and all present here. I am wholeheartedly welcome today's resource person for our webinar series, Dr. Paramita Das. She is a head of the Department of Education at University of North Bengal, Siliguri, the West Bengal University. And she is going to talk about mental health for classroom learning, navigating problems in school. So that is a topic, and I hope that it is very useful for us. So our working field of mental health company. I welcome today's resource person as well as all the participants for our webinar series, webinar session. And today it is our 407th webinar session. I welcome on behalf of the Department of Psychology, the American College Madurai, and our associating partners like Madras School Association of Chennai, M.L. Chellamuthi Institute Madurai, and Yellow Pond Counseling Center Madurai, and Psycho-Oncological Association Turkey. I welcome each one of you as well as the resource person for today's webinar session. Ma'am, we are very eagerly waiting for you to listen and learn a lot from you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Eager to discuss about the topic.
Professor, we are not able to hear you. Can you please check your audio? We cannot able to hear you. Professor, are you there? Hello? Professor, please unmute your audio. I'll make you as an co-host. Please unmute your audio, Professor.
Am I audible? Oh,
You are audible, ma'am, very clear. You can continue. I think your network is very low. Professor, your voice is breaking. Professor, are you there? I think we cannot able to hear you, Professor. Anyone others can, if you can able to hear, please let me know. once after introducing, what they will do at the end of the presentation, they will talk about the important strategies to develop the mental health of the children. For example, if you are a resource person talking about the mental health of children, the presentation focus on children's mental health strategies and techniques that they introduced. And I found that the more youngsters, I think in our webinar series, we can find out more presenters we can find at different age group. The youngsters who came for our webinar series are more engaged with participants. I can quote some of them, how they will do that. They will not talk continuously for 30 to 40 minutes. They are not practicing in such a way. They will stop in between. They will ask the client in between the questions they will ask. And they will give the answer for them. So that is a more interactive way they taken by that more younger age population. But when it comes to that, the experienced participants, experienced resource person and speakers, and they are they focus on, they know that they will not give that directly that technical term which is used in psychology. They give analog and which is known to us. They use the term which is known to us. That is a specialty I found among the experts who came in the age more experienced resource persons. When come to that other countries, I think those who are following our webinar series will be aware about that. More than 16 countries where we got on resource persons, more than 16 countries. And what I found that their way of presentation is totally different from our way of presentation. I'll quote some of the presentations which was made by European country resource persons. And I found that we can able to connect with Gulf country, a resource person from Gulf countries. It is very, very close to us. And they are, what kind of way we can able to more connect with them. Even South Asian countries. When it comes to the European countries, I found something different. And they deliver the content in a way it is like teaching to nursery school children. The pause between that one word and another word is very, very clear. And they saying that the way the communication what we are making is very speed. So that is the input I observed from that European countries other than English speaking, non-English speaking European countries. And like Russia and the German and the Finland. So these were the countries they came and they shared their experiences. Another set of experts who came, they are having already the faint phase. They are having the follower phase. And they took session on that, okay, for example, NLP, cognitive behavior therapy, so certain words which is catchy in term. I can find that if you find the title of the presentation is about cognitive behavior therapy or any kind of therapy, and we can find the number of participants are very high because they are very curious to know that, okay, we would like to know that one of the method we would like to know. But when it comes to that, the common topics like stress management, actually stress management, we had more than 10 stress management presentations. But I can say that each presentations are unique and distinct. Unique and distinct. We can find out that one person who they focus on biological perspective, and another person focus on the holistic perspective, and another person focus on their general perspective. These were the component. I understand that, and the learning take about that. Actually, I never had any kind of idea about psychoangalia. I told to my core team member, Dr. Veena also, and she is the one who told me that you have to get into that and you have to practice, and which is very close to that. I thought that what they will do in psychoangalia. But when we had 5 to 10 sessions, it's an amazing field, and we need to work on that. It is working for the geriatric population, elderly population, and those who are in that chronic illness and they cannot able to recover from the illness. They only need psychoangalia or psychological counseling for anxiety patients. And they said that what is the protocol? And it is very important, friends, and those are participating, listening here. The protocol is nothing but rules and regulations of the psychological counselor. What kind of rule they have to practice, why they have to practice, and what kind of precautions a psychologist has to follow. So that information, they were very clear, and I understand that, okay, it is a huge field and that need to be explored. I learned the psycho-oncology only because of this webinar series. Otherwise, I never had any idea. And in the beginning days, when we are conducting the webinar sessions, which was reported in almost all the leading newspapers, Tamil and as well as in English newspapers, they covered and they focused. As we said, in the beginning, we never thought that we will cross more than 365. So I hadn't planned that we can go for 60 webinar sessions, because I approached 200 experts and only 60 people were consented. Okay, we are willing to take a session. Only 60 people. And one more important thing, in the beginning days, we had on 3 sessions in a day, because everyone in the lockdown and no one cannot move anywhere else. They can access only the devices or cartridge what they're having in the hand. So 3 webinar sessions we had. That's why the number, even though for 365 days we are going to have more than 420 webinar sessions, it is because some days we had more than 1 webinar session. And you all know that the season vary from different places. And sometime I may not be able to access this webinar session itself. I remember that one day I went to my native where it is a heavy raining. The technical problem is very huge, and I tried to log in. I didn't log in that link, my own link, and I sent my username and password to my other team members who were there in Chennai, and they give access to other members and they introduce. So that is the way we made a session. And some experts, they are very good at using the technology, and some people, they openly accepted that, okay, we need to get on training. I still remember there are many proposals who came in the previous day itself, and we given how they can operate, how they can share, and what are the things they have to do, and the etiquette, okay, how they have to behave in an online component we were discussed. So these are the observations I found. And regarding the e-certificates, the beginning days, I think it is an I had a high stress, because one person who received an e-certificate regarding our webinar session, who told me that I don't want this pattern, this style. I want, he given one design for the certificate. You have to send me in this design. I told this is an uniform format we are following. We cannot be able to change. But he never accepted that. No. He's 3 to 5 days he is making a call. Even those days I used to conduct webinar session in my mobile phone only. If he make a call, we cannot able to continue the webinar session. He purposefully make a call during the webinar session. And unfortunately, the person, we designed a certificate, the format he gave him, and after sending him only, he was quiet. So these kind of nonsenses also we experience. And our team members, and sometimes they are very cooperative. Even if I'm not there, they will, some of the members, they will come and they will share their, they will take care of the different roles. Yes, I think the resource person sending a message, she can able to see her, the professor can able to see myself, and she is talking, but she cannot able to connect us. Maybe the technical problem, it may be low bandwidth, or maybe that the WebEx meeting in the resource person content may not be updated. It's okay, ma'am, and we will have one more session on that. So this is about my experiences, my takes, and sometimes I'm even, say 1 year mark means sometimes we may not feel well also. Sometimes we may have the other family commitments. I still remember one day I used to drive a car to Chennai. I totally forgot. And I put my mobile phone in silent mode. It's around 6:45, and no one started. Everyone thought that I can begin the session because I'm the host, so they thought that I can begin. I totally forgot when I was getting down for taking the tea, because I'm traveling more than 8 hours. I'm getting down in a place. When I was looking at my mobile phone, I found that, okay, there are 26 missed calls. So then I opening and then giving immediately there they came. And so these kind of experiences we had a lot. Even the resource persons will be there and waiting for the session, and the participant will be waiting, and the host may not be initiated the webinar session. This kind of experience we had 3 to 4 times. And another important thing what we found that our webinar series participants, they were more constructive feedback they provided to us. They told me that, okay, what are the area we have to focus and what are the area need to be improvised, and they give a suggestion to us. Can you please invite a resource person on the particular topic? So we found some of the expert in those topics, and almost all the education institutions we contacted. I still remember. I used wisely the website, the internet connections, and went to all the behavioral sciences and psychology department around the world. I sent a mail to almost all the persons. Some people they responded, and many people they not responded. I wonder one of the countries, Singapore. I thought the Singapore proposals will accept my invitation, but none of them were accepted. I wonder, I don't know. But other country experts were accepted, and they may thought it may be spam. Maybe they may thought. Because I sent the message to all the professors in that particular same university with the same kind of work, so they may not, they may thought it may be a spam. So that is the thing, I think so. But I expected they will come and present. But quietly we can find that almost all the countries here and there are being covered, even nearby countries and developed countries also they came, and almost all the topics we were discussed here. As I said, no. This webinar series molded me, I can say, groomed me, how a content should be prepared, how a content should be presented to the audience. So that was a wonderful learning, a journey. I made an abstract of what I learned from the webinar series. Just a good presentation as it caters the needs of all sectors of participants. Yeah, some of the participants they interested in that presentation, the slides. We have to give importance to more images we need to add. As we all know that I hear, I forgot, I see, I remember, I do, I understand. But most of the participants who are attending here, we are matured adults, so we are not giving the practical oriented component. Even though we had done some of the presentations, some of the sessions in our webinar series are practical sessions. Dr. Srinivasan, I think he made the session, mesmerized the session, I can say. He asked us for, and one more session by Dr. Subhasri, autogenic technique. So the practical sessions are there more in numbers, but when take the percentage, it is nearly 2 to 3% only. But we have to give priority to that presentation, the visuals, and then the connection to the audience by asking questions here and there, and once after then we are focusing on that what we prepared, what we came, what is the intention we had in our mind for this webinar session, that content need to be delivered. And that we have to practice ourselves, whether we can able to get, whether these informations we can listen actively, whether it is an interesting or not. When we present to us, when we listen, we can able to get an introspection. That is the way we, it's okay, ma'am. I think I'm getting message from the professor saying that she's a technical issue. Definitely we'll have one more session about the resource person in some other day. And I hope
Yes, I was audible. Hello.
Now yes, you are audible, ma'am. Audible.
Yeah, I was speaking for around half an hour. I don't know was I audible or visible. I have no idea. I had the WebEx app also, and I was there. I was speaking for half an hour. I don't know like how far the audience could hear or visualize.
No, you are
I
not
have no
audible.
idea,
You are
but
not audible. Earlier you were not audible. Now only you are audible.
yeah, but I kept speaking for around 20 minutes, I think so. That much I remember. I kept speaking. I don't know if what was the problem on the other hand. But from my side, I was assured that it is like I'm speaking. Yeah. So as I said, that statistically, most of the children, like 60% of them, they are like dropouts from the school, and 40% remaining, they can cope with these mental health issues. The different problems that arise out of their mental health issues are lack of concentration, lack of energy level, then negativity, depression, anxieties, and also like physical health issues also arise out of the mental health problems because
Ma'am, you are not audible. Again, there is
the yes, hello.
your voice
So
is
like
breaking in between.
yeah, so children and parents both are uncertain, like as to what is the cause of this problem and whether they should consult the psychologist. Uncertain, they hesitate because they think that it is a matter of shame to consult and to make it a point to talk to the.
Please unmute your audio, ma'am. Unmute your audio.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Hello.
yes.
Like the parents and the children, they are uncertain as to like what is the level of their mental health problem, and whether they should consult the psychiatrist and psychologist or not. They are very because they have social stigma if identified with any kind of mental health issues. They're still having certain like superstitions and orthodox beliefs that if they will consult with others, that is a matter of shame. Maybe they think that way.
Please unmute your audio. And, you are muted again.
Yes, it is. The system is doing it. I'm keeping it like unmuted, but the system is muting it. Okay.
Okay,
Hello. Yes, the system is muting it because I'm keeping it unmuted, but the system is
okay,
getting
it's
it
okay.
off.
Yes, yes, please continue.
So, like, it is the duty of the parents and the teachers to have a good understanding of the children, a good understanding of the child in school and in at home, and also to not to pressurize them with the learning outcomes. The children should be able to have the creative bent of mind and should be nurtured in their creativity areas, not at a particular performance level which has been by the teachers at school, and they should come beyond that and they should understand the child's mind to develop his own platform of creativity, and this will help the child through the different types of creative activities. The child will be able to be more flexible and will be able to be more positive minded, will be able to develop his personal way rather than any fixed norms or criteria that has been decided by the parents and the teachers. So the teachers and the parents should understand it, should be protective, should discuss with the child about the problems he or she is facing, and also a good bonding between the family members. That is very essential for the child to have a good mental health. The role of the parents also is important to arrange some kind of remedial class or remedial coaching, some kind of counseling sessions which can be arranged at school, and also the certain parent teacher associations of the suffering child, that also can be organized so that the parents and the teachers are having a good bonding, and the school is not something which is an unknown place which is very scary. It should not be like that. The school is, the child should realize that the school is also like a home to the child, and that will help the child to develop and to express himself or herself in a better way, and can also perform in the school in a better way. So the child of such behavioral disorders should be appreciated, should be understood for his talents, not for any fixed criteria, not for any particular weakness. If that is pinpointed again and again, what will happen is that the child will develop inferiority complex and will develop fear, will hesitate to go to school. So all these things should be overcome, and it should be like the more of appreciation, more of understanding, and more of positivity should be instilled in the mind of the child, that the child is unique, is special, and also that the problem is not as such a kind of shame, but it is like it's something, it can happen, it is a normal thing. And for that, the teacher, with the consultation of the parents, to visit the family members and talk to them regarding the, sometimes the child may behave in a different way in the school and in a different way at home. So to understand what is the compatibility,
Again, you
regarding
are
the
muted.
behavioral problems, for to assess what is the total frame of behavioral changes in the child. For that, the track of the behavior at home location, the behavior at the school location, both should be kept watched upon, and that should be related and made an overall study. And from there, the findings should be overall studied from the home and from the school regarding the behavior of the child. That can be collectively, it can be studied, and therefore the decision should be made for the remedial measures that can be taken to treat the child. So different modifications also can be made by the school curriculum, some accommodations for which the slow learners and also the slightly retarded children, they can cope with such curricular activities. And also, like we know that programmed learning and personalized system of learning, the system of instructions, already it is there, textually it is available, but like no one gives attention to those activities. Everyone rushes with the syllabus completion, and more or less they will talk for a certain time with the child, any problem. And they will go back home and they will not even think twice that the next day, whether the child again faces the same issue or not. So for that, the proper accommodation, proper framework, and also the proper treatment, attention to the child, the children, the group of children, in fact, the system should be there. It should be developed within the school, and if required, the teachers and the parents, they should collaborate, and if possible, also the social worker, the specialists in particular, suppose dyslexia or dyscalculia, which is the level or the particular area of the mental health problem, that should be consulted with that kind of specialist. It's not that anyone random will come. Basically, specialists only can play the role of an expert, and at all, if they are having certain challenges in meeting such problems, then they can consult the experts for solving such problems. And the child in future will definitely go in the social world, in the world outside. For that, social skills, the skill development, the personality development is much more important than just scoring some good grades or good marks in school. That is something very limited. The more broader part of the part, the objective of, and the parents aspirations should be to treat the child in such a way so that in the world outside, the specialize himself in any kind of adverse situations, and the problems, if they are solved within the self, then later on in the world, in the society, in the community, the child can have the confidence, the self dependence to face such problems, and can to some extent at least can cope with that, and can at least manage his own living, can manage his sustenance, and can at least have a balanced life. Maybe it may not be too much successful or very much excellence level, but at least to have a basic survival, to have a balanced life, the preparation from the school and such all-round development should be made taken care of. And so the training or empowering of the child should be very much important. For that, the enhancement of the skills of the parents are also important. Sometimes the parents also don't have the proper skill how to take care of the children. So that may happen that the parents are also very educated, but they don't know how to at least understand the child's mind. So certain things that doesn't need too much of qualifications or something like that. So you just simply understand as a human being, you understand the child's mind, you understand the child's needs and the child's difficulties, and for that, the training or supervision, the empowerment, the advocacy of the parents is also to be looked after by the school, and also the any conflict at home. Okay, so such things should be also taken care of by school. The school and the home should collaborate and look after of each other's limitations. One particular person or one particular like individual, it is not possible to take care of all the children who are facing such problems. And also the location wise, situation wise, the behavior may change. The certain things may be severe in some particular time, and at some particular point of time again it may develop a certain kind of variation. So for that, like altogether, everyone should be very careful about what sort of symptoms are there, and depending on that only they can help the child. So proper observation and proper skill orientation and the proper discipline and understanding the child with the minimum strategies, not that big technical things has to be there. So a simple way of this mutual understanding and the cooperation, I think support, the affection that the child needs, that can make a very big difference to cope and adjust with such mental health problems. I think the strength of the child, everyone has some kind of strength gifted by God. That strength should be highlighted more than the weakness that the child is having. The child should not be a prey to or victim to the weakness that he or she is having, that others are not facing, but that particular child is facing. That should not be demarcated. It should be like, okay, it is like you are exceptional, so that is why you are having some exceptional problem because you are special in your own way. So that can happen. That is normal. So such kind of thinking should be built in the child's mind. That will help, I think. That's my opinion.
Yes, thank you, Professor. I think nice inputs.
Yeah, because mostly recently I was
Yes.
getting access to Google Meet, and this Cisco WebEx is already there in my system. That is no
Okay.
problem. But
So,
when I'm that one, I'm not the software professional, but the
yeah.
after
It's okay, Professor. I think we can able to have a
yeah.
discussion now. Dear participants, we can discuss about the topic with the speaker right now. The mental health of children in school. How you can ensure that mental health at school, and how you can navigate the problem of the children, and how we can overcome the problem which is related to the behavior and mental health component. You can welcome and you can ask a question to the resource person. Unmute yourself, you can ask a question directly to the resource person. Right? Or else you can type the questions in the chat box. Professor, I would like to begin the Q&A. One of the recent observations what I made that the parents having the 5-year-old kid. The kid is very good in learning and the intelligence, memory, and other components, but the parents are having the thought that the children is not performing better. For such a parents, what kind of advice will you provide to them?
think so because like sometimes the parents are not having the faith in the child that whether he or she will be successful in life or not. For that, I think so. Like if the parents are having any kind of confusion, then they should think that they should expose the child to any such different kind of like competitions, cultural activities are there, the where the child can participate and prove what not by what. But there, like in the public platform, the parents can also, as an audience, view the child how he or she is performing. Suppose the extempore or some maybe Olads or some essay competitions. I think so through such social activities, the social exposure, definitely there will be some merit. Definitely some level of like merit will be there, which will be assigned to the students or the child by the organization.
Thank you, Professor, for the wonderful answer. And one more,
Observed by the that can help
yeah,
them
personally,
to have some
it is
idea
about
about
there
it.
are many government policies and our government agencies are insisting that every institution must have one school counselor, but many of the institutions are not following. So, what kind of initiative must be taken from the government side as well as parent side to ensure that importance of having one school counselor?
If it is there in the policy and if it is mentioned that the school should have chosen a particular counselor from their local area, at least they should invite one person. I think one person from local and one can be someone expert from outside also. They can come one expert from local because will be very easy. I think it will be very easy for the school to get access to communicate with the local person also. So that can be done very easily. It is not much more challenging for the school. The school teachers, like those who are making the policy, at least there should be some kind of representative who should visit the school and should make the school principal, the administration realize that it is not something like a biju to appoint through some formal thing, formal process a counselor. First and foremost, it can be informally done. Some knowledgeable person who of a good personality, who is very very friendly with people around, so that can be selected from what even it can be counselor can be maybe from any of the child's family also. Someone can be who is very good in understanding the child, who can also understand the other around. So it can be some localite. They can just the representative should come and make them realize the local person should come, and once the school gets used to interaction and communication with such local people, the counselor, if they are comfortable with that person, then later they can add to that group of counselors, so they can add to that. I think so from that ground level they should start thinking, not that very big detailing and
Thank you, Professor, for the
keeping in the
wonderful.
mind that now such and such notification is there, there maybe the school will think that it is a big issue. It's like that. It should be very
Thank
simple
you.
thing.
Thank you, Professor. Actually, even the technical issues we had, and you made crisp and brief presentation today. I record on behalf of the Department of Psychology, American College, and on behalf of all the participants who are here, our sincere gratitude and thanks to you for a wonderful presentation today. I also thank all the participants for your continuous support. We will meet another session tomorrow at 6:30. Until then, bye-bye. Take care. Thank you, ma'am. We will meet in another session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.